how to make a grilled cheese. So, I'm going to teach you how to do this very simple yet very variable sandwich that's cheap to make and very, well, it can be nutritious because it has plenty of options for what kind of ingredients. You could put meat on it, put your dairy on it, you got the carbs and all that stuff. So I think for people who are college age, this is actually a very simple and reliable meal that you can have throughout multiple days, and it's very easy to make, but it just has a little bit of prep. The prep in mind is what you mainly want is your 2 slices of bread. You want your variety of cheese. Right now I'm going to be doing Swiss slices and pepper jack cheese cut in slices. Other important thing is to make sure that the bread is buttered beforehand so you can get a nice caramelization and a nice little crispiness and flavor as it's on the pan. The important thing about the pan is that you gotta make sure it's really nice and warm as you start to cook the sandwich, because if you have it on cold before it actually starts to cook, then it's gonna be there a lot for longer and you're kind of wasting time. So it's better to just get the pan going right away. Another thing I'd like to add to it is olive oil. And this kind of gives a nice crispiness to the bread itself. Gives a nice crispiness to the bread itself, and it also adds a nice, more subtle flavor to the bread itself. And I like to put that on first as we get prepped on it. So I'm gonna add that in there. I have the pan itself on a medium to low heat, because we don't want to burn it right away, because if you have it too high, it's just going to burn the crust and the cheese is not going to get melted, even though this cheese right here is pretty easy to melt as it is. But the first thing I like to do is to put the first layer of bread down first and leave it by itself for just a second as it cooks. Make sure that's rubbed in together. Then as that's going, we start adding the cheese. I'm gonna start putting one layer of the Swiss slices, which don't look like Swiss for some reason, but that is okay. And then we're gonna layer the pepper jack on too. And then one more layer of the Swiss. And then I'm gonna quickly put the last slice of bread down right there. So that's going to get going. As that waits, so the main important thing is to make sure that I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit, because I can tell the pan didn't get fully heated as I was waiting to set up the rest of the prep. But as it's going, the main important thing that a lot of people get wrong about making grilled cheese is the right heats that both makes a nice color, nice brownish golden color on the bread, while also being able to melt the cheese inside, because that's the important thing, to make sure it's nice and gooey when we cut it. So I'm gonna increase the heat just a little bit, kind of like to speed up the process, but taking your time on the grilled cheese sandwich is actually very important, and there's no harm in taking your time while doing this. So I'm just gonna increase the heat to medium for now, just to speed up the process. And as we wait, I can show you some of the other options that you can use for ingredients. Obviously, different kinds of meat. You can have your sausages or bratwursts. Other types of condiments too, like, mayo, for example, could be something. But I'm gonna give this a little check underneath. It's not quite there yet, but I think the cheese is getting close to being melted. I'm gonna just increase the heat again so we can just speed up the process, because I don't want to mess this up within the time frame. But as this is going, I'm gonna add a few more things to kind of help with the bread. You don't have to do this, but I do. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. Just at the top, just to give a nice, more subtle flavor to it. I think we're getting pretty close. So I'm gonna flip it right now. It's getting a little smoky. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Turn the heat down a little bit because I don't want it to get burned on the other side, but right now, that's a good flip. Give this just a couple more seconds. That's... And I should have probably used a little bit more oil. It's done about now. I should have used a little bit more oil on the bottom just to make sure it doesn't stick, because the bottom did get screwed up a little bit, but I think this is gonna turn out pretty well. I'm gonna cut into it, and there you go. Nice, simple and tasteful little breakfast or lunch. All right, and it's, like I said, it's very easy. And it's a pretty simple little dish that you can make yourself during lunch or dinner, and I think it's very cheap too, so pretty much anyone can make it, and that's why I think it's pretty important.